Hello, Trish.
Hello, Douglas.
What's up, Trish? Very excited. Welcome to the Trish and Doug 5th of July holiday spectacular. It's lovely to see you.
Lovely to see you. I haven't spoken to you today.
That's true. Well, virtually, but
I'm
glad
just
to
saying, usually by now I would have spoken to you. So
see
hi.
you. Hi, you do have all your fingers, so there were
I do.
no crazy firework accidents, anything like that. Welcome
No,
everyone. Go ahead, Trish.
I was
No?
gonna say not this year.
Any sparklers?
No, I didn't this year.
No sparklers? Well,
I know I'm a terrible, terrible American.
no, you're a fantastic American, Trish. We appreciate we appreciate you. But, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Kim's here. Jill, what's up? Jill's here.
Happy birthday, happy belated birthday to Jill.
Happy birthday, Jill. Crystal of Rosie's Closet is here.
She you guys, if you're not on TikTok, A, go to TikTok because it's awesome. But
Yeah.
B, follow Crystal from Rosie's Closet. She did this video the other day, and I went in the comments, and somebody told her she was talking about thrifting and putting it up and blah blah blah. And somebody said to her, "Get a real job."
Oh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
And I thought, man, if you think this isn't a real job, you people don't know what you're talking about. I mean, this is a lot. There's a lot involved in this.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I wonder how long that guy lasted, by the way.
I know. Yeah, she LOL'd the hater, which she did. She didn't give him. I started to write a really sarcastic thing, and I was like, no, I won't do that. And I backtracked. I don't remember what I said, but I was just like, cracked me up for some reason.
He should enjoy his 9-to-5 job where he makes money for other people
Somebody else.
a lot more than he does.
Exactly. Right.
Somehow, whatever who is it? Oh, Alexa or Siri thinks I was talking to her, so she still does. It's very bizarre.
It happens to me a lot lately.
Sit, speak. But welcome everybody to the holiday spectacular. I'm leaving the fantastic graphic up as people pop in, but there will be guests. There will be reminiscing. We will talk about some businessy stuff, of course, but we're excited to be here. Hope everyone Kim, the mouth on that lady.
Why I missed it. See, I don't have my glasses on. I have to wear glasses to be able to see all the comments. Nimrods will be Nimrods.
What's up, Jim? Jim's back. Jim was on the other day.
Hey,
Nice to see you
Jim.
back, Jim. Kathy Cox. Hope you're doing well as well. Hope everybody had a great 4th of July. But let's start with that. Trish, how was your 4th of July?
I froze, so sorry about that. I'm at Diane's house, so that is why it looks different. I'm at Diane's. I didn't really do anything. I did work yesterday, and my husband worked a double. So, and then last night, I called my friend Carrie and I said, I don't have anything to do. You want to go out? And she said, it's 4th of July. What's going to be open? I said, I don't know. And so we went to a Mexican place.
Very patriotic.
We said this while we were there. I was like, I kind of feel like we're being anti-patriotic. But we got this.
Oh, that's a great photo.
Do you see the drink?
Yeah. Yes, that's a great photo. And nice of you to let her have a sip of your drink.
It was very nice of me to let her have a sip of my drink.
All right. Well, hang on. Just stop the show, Trish. All right, Francis, we're going to do our best, but so thank you for being new to LP. We can talk about that a little bit. You can certainly let us know if you have any questions, but just so you know, we do like to have some fun. So hopefully this will be fun and informative.
So, and just so you know, Francis, I'm going to say that also, we do a serious reseller topic on Wednesdays, YouTube Live, called Reseller Tips. So please go back and find those in the YouTube out. It would be under our live section. I thought the one we did on Wednesday was pretty good.
Yeah, exactly. Well, they're always
so
good. I'm always,
you know, today is just kind of fun, but anything that we can answer for you, please. And if you're not part of our Facebook group, please join that. And also make sure you're on Listing Party, because we have 411 there Monday through Friday. We have other classes tonight at 7 Eastern. When I freeze, can you still hear me talk?
Yeah, I mean, we can only tell for a second, so
Okay.
you can ignore it unless you
Okay.
no.
Okay. So 7 o'clock tonight, 7 Eastern, our own oh my the name, his name, Jason. What is Jason's last name?
Jason Wells.
Thank you, Jason Wells. He is having a talk tonight at 7 o'clock at about integrating a CSV file from LP to be able to download it on his items onto District, which is a selling platform. So he's basically using the custom marketplace feature, but he's also going to download. He said he did 1,000 listings with the CSV file. He downloaded 1,000 listings, got them into District in about an hour. So I'm going to go to that tonight at 7. I'm really looking forward to it, to be honest with you. He is a smart dude. And I'm really interested to see how this works. So that's tonight at 7. But right now on Listing Party is 411, which is just show up with your questions, ask anything you need. You have the ability to share your screen, to be able to show. I believe right now Pat and Teresa are in there right this minute. So you can ask questions if you're new, you can ask questions if you're old, you can ask questions about new features, you can help anything that you need help with. And then of course that's us. You want to go up a little, my friend?
Down a little, up a little.
Yeah. You know what I meant. Yeah. And then tonight at 4 o'clock, this is Eastern. I'm talking Eastern. So it's 1 o'clock. True Crime and List, which is Grayson from Flippin' Hippos. She does a come and list and they talk about true crime. And then that's the import list perfectly CSV file into District. That's the one I was talking about. And then tonight, all night from 5 o'clock on, or my time, 8 o'clock on, Jill hosts Friday night lip. Friday night.
That's your show. I apologize, ladies and gentlemen.
Friday night sip and list. And so they have fun. They listen to music. They sometimes, I think, do trivia and games and stuff, I believe. And they talk about, being productive, and they talk about how to do things. So if you're new to List Perfectly, check these out. It is all part of your subscription. This is a free service that you have with your List Perfectly subscription. And I honestly have to say that I believe in my heart that this is an underutilized part of what we offer you. And it is absolutely worth you looking into.
There you go. And so, Francis, check out Listing Party, listingparty.com. And then this one is also for you too. This is the community section of our website. So this kind of shows a lot of the free resources that we have for sellers that are not just List Perfectly resources. You can ask selling questions, e-commerce questions, marketplace questions, anything across the board. So, but thanks for being here. And we hope that it's educational, fun, and informative as always. Right, Trish?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, I'm going to catch up on comments real quick. Kathy's, it'll be interesting. It will be interesting to learn about District. Jim says, bring your margarita, Trish.
I would love to.
There we go.
I love a good margarita. So if I could get another one, I will.
It still says regularly attending listing parties is a surefire way to level up your business. Thank you so much, Crystal.
I agree with Crystal. I think when you get in a group of like-minded sellers, especially if there's a few people in that group who are doing significantly better than you, or are in a different position than you are in, you sometimes can really learn a lot, and you can also figure out oh, maybe I could add that one thing to my business and it would make a big difference or whatever. And so, just having and being able to say to somebody, hey, can you explain to me why you do this? Because sometimes we don't get why we should be doing certain things.
One quick thing, and then I have a surprise for you. Our first special guest. Rip Torn couldn't make it. Vincent Price couldn't make it. Paul Lynn couldn't make it. He's rolling over in his square. But we do have a special guest. We'll bring in a moment. Deanie asked to do the talks on community replay. So the lives are over in Listing Party. They do not replay right now. It's kind of one and done. They are live. But you can get them there, listingparty.com. They are here in spirit. Yes. Thank you.
All right. Well, my surprise is walking in at the same time. So we're going to have two surprises.
Well, we've got the fabulous Diane Lassonde here. Diane, how are you? How's it going? How was your 4th?
It was very interesting. Got literally hit on by a homeless guy.
Yeah, so she was in Boston.
We all aspire to that.
Yeah, it was fun.
How did it work out? All right.
Yeah, we went down to the Esplanade because we stayed at the hotel right beside Mass General, and we thought, we'll just walk over the bridge. And well, then they said they're closing the bridges at 9:00.
Oh wow!
You have to get off the bridges. So, and the fireworks weren't until 10 or 10:30 or something. Jeez. So. Yeah. So Rick's like, we better go now because it's going to be crazy to find a spot after all these people. And so we got a nice spot. I was sitting on a bench, and unfortunately, it must have been the bench of a homeless person who was very clean. I don't think he was drunk.
He just obviously had some
mental issues, and which I thought it would be fine. I really did. I didn't see him as any type of threat or anything. And at the beginning, it was just me and him on the bench, but then another lady came. And so he moved to the middle, and then he kept touching her. Then he kept touching me. Then he kept touching her. And she'd be like, please, sir, don't touch me. And, it was just like,
it was a lot. It was a lot. Wait, he is a special guest. So I don't know who it is.
Is this guy still there? Does he want to come on the live, or has he left?
We have him. We brought him home. She brought him home. She's getting rid of Rick. He's the new dude.
I felt so bad for him, though. You know me.
Yeah,
I'm taking everybody home.
Exactly. That's how I ended up here.
But there's Diane Love in the chat. Lots of Diane fans.
Hi, everyone.
Diane's here. All right, let's bring on our second special guest. Diane misses Diane. You miss each other's beautiful face.
Yeah.
We'll all be together again soon. All right, let's bring in the fabulous, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, the fabulous Susie Eads. Welcome, Susie.
Sorry, I had to unmute myself. That requires a little more brain power than I'm ready for today. Hey, everybody.
How are you?
Good. I'm excited I got to see Diane.
I'm happy to see you. Haven't seen you in ages.
That's right.
Thanks for
right?
Yeah. Jill, I think I would bring that guy home.
You would, Jill.
I've brought more than one of them home at different times, so I do think that. I don't know.
It's true. Maybe not
this
right now.
This one was a little bit much at the end, though. So
maybe right now you could control yourself.
Yeah. I'm like, no, he's a lot of work.
You could put him to work.
Right now.
Lots of hellos. Lots of hellos to Susie as well. So that was Diane's 4th of July. Susie, how was your 4th of July?
Uneventful, because they canceled our annual fireworks show at the levee because they had to shut the gates into Ottawa, Kansas, because the Maristacine River rose. And so we're going to have it tonight. But
that's fine.
So it's like the Led Zeppelin song, When the Levee Breaks.
Exactly. Exactly.
But it didn't break, and so we get to have fireworks tonight.
We're going to have fireworks tonight. And the
Right.
family's coming over. Everybody in the family's coming over for dinner. They were supposed to yesterday, but we canceled that too.
Okay.
Instead, I went and bought a bunch of product at a clearance sale. So
All right. There you go. There you go.
better than a fireworks show, in my opinion, anyway, is to buy more money to create to buy more stuff to create fireworks.
Exactly, to have our own fireworks. All right. So I want to know best childhood memory, 4th of July memory from everybody.
Well, childhood?
Well, or just best Hollywood. It doesn't have to be childhood. Best 4th of July memory.
Well, first of all, we watch Jaws every year because it's a 4th of July movie and it's my favorite movie and I have my Jaws shirt on.
Of course you do.
That there was a guy in the grocery store and he recognized my shirt. And then I bumped into a guy who had a shirt with American flags and fireworks and Bigfoot on it.
Yeah, this was like the your people were calling you that.
And everybody's like, happy 4th of July in the grocery store. I'm like, happy, and also to you, happy 4th of July, and also to you, and also to you. And so that
ambassador
there, yes, ambassador of something. And then real quick, another memory. My son asked me about it this morning. I was reminded the other day that my dad was and I remember this, but I remember what we did. My dad was in EOD, explosive ordnance disposal, in the Army. And when we lived in New York, I was a little kid. At the time, fireworks were illegal. So the cops would confiscate the fireworks and bring them to the military base, and then they'd blow them up all at once. That was pretty sweet.
Did they do it during the day?
Yes, unfortunately.
Okay. My best memory, I was 14, and my father and I am up because I am tanned. I'm not usually tanned. So I'm 14 and my father had a law partner and he lived on Twin Lake. Okay. So we had a little like house on this lake and fireworks were illegal.
Okay.
But if you did them out of the lake, they kind of left you alone. So my dad and two other.
So you were above the law.
Well, I didn't do it. It wasn't me. So they got a boat, and my dad and these two other lawyers, and they have all these fireworks in the boat, and they take the boat to the middle of the thing, and they started lighting them off, and like the third one went up and went back down into the boat, and the boat started, and then you saw my dad, and then the other guy
overboard.
My mom.
And let me just say this. You guys don't know my dad. He was not a happy boy. And did not think this was funny. He got out of the water. And my mother looked at me and goes, when he's almost to the water's edge, she goes, get your stuff. I was like,
we are out.
So he literally just walked to the car. We had a station wagon, which was my mother's. He got in the way back. I don't know why, probably because he was soaking. He got in the way back. My mother got in the front seat. I got in the back seat. I don't know why I did that. Why I didn't go in the front seat. And we drove home in complete silence.
No talking aloud.
Nothing. And then as soon as he got out of the car, my mother and I sat in the car and we waited for him to go in the house. And then we both burst out laughing. And we laughed for so long, but we didn't go in the house. I swear to God, for like 45.
Well, that was like my dad. It would be, and he would know that my mom and I were going to laugh at him. But and my mom is like this. And this is probably why I'm like, I have a story for everything she does too. If she was here, she would be like listening to the fireworks, and she'd be like, Doug's grandmother, when she was a very small child, there was a fireworks display and a firework shot up her leg, and she had the scar her whole life.
Thank you, Doug's mother. Oh, yeah. That was putting back the oxygen. Just so you know, she still smokes and uses the oxygen. Okay,
and I say, hopefully you don't smoke with the
same time. Yeah.
I would explode. I'm not that stupid. All right, go ahead, Diane. And then.
So I had a memory, but then you talked about Jaws. And so was Jaws in that year came out on the 4th of July?
It was set during the 4th of July weekend on Amity Island in 1975.
Yeah, but what year did it really come out?
When it came out, did it come out? Because we saw it at the drive-in that first summer when it came out.
I think it was 77.
I'm sorry, Susie Eads. It was June 20th, 1975.
Oh, see, I was wrong.
We'll still be playing at the drive-in.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So Rick,
Yeah.
and I went with my girlfriend and her boyfriend and me and Rick. Rick, don't believe everything he tells you.
Did you hear him yell?
Oh yeah.
It's totally true. He jumped out of the car. He jumped like he was. You can't at all. And he's like, I am never going in the water again. I can't believe you made me watch this movie. And to this day, he still hates it.
That movie is awesome.
Here,
me too.
It's an amazing movie. It's my favorite movie, and this will help Rick because there was a report on the news every day, and they're like, when you're swimming in the ocean, it's like going in the woods. There's bears, there's sharks, and they said that 97% of the time you're in the water, there's a shark close. And a lot of times I think it's this, a lot of times people freak out and they'll punch the shark, and the shark is like, I was gonna swim by, but now I have to bite you.
Wasn't my memory, but that jogged that memory. So my memory is my mom and dad lived in condos in Abington, and from their house you could see Abington set off fireworks on the night before the 4th. That's what it was called. They had the big celebration. You could go down to the field, and they had vendors and games and parades and all the things, but we would go to my mom's house at night, my whole Italian family, and sit on the side of her hill outside of her house and watch the fireworks. And she'd have all kinds of food, and it was just a really great time. And it was really good for Jen too, because Jen's eyes always bothered her. And if we went to fireworks, she always had her head in a pillow on a blanket. So here she could stay in my mother's house and watch TV. So she was perfectly happy. We were perfectly happy, and it was fun.
I'm sure Jen would appreciate the sharing of that story too.
Yeah.
Tens of people
she's here too. We can go ask her.
She's still better. She still has that issue, but she does much better with it.
Okay. All right.
Miss Susie.
Susie, what's your memory? And then we're going to bring in our next very special guest. I can see him in the green room. He has set up his green screen. He's ready. He's going to trigger some. It's very. Who could it be?
Who could it be?
Who knows?
Well,
it's Steven Spielberg. No, just kidding.
Steven Spielberg. It is lawyer Bruce.
Rick said anything about the movie.
So I think I was trying to think of my favorite childhood memory, and while this maybe isn't the best, I do look upon it fondly. My parents had a house down in the Pomme de Terre, which is down by the Lake of the Ozarks, and we had a boat, and we would water ski, and my father was quite a handsome man, and the ladies loved him. And my husband likes to joke that I'm related to Genghis Khan because I have a lot of siblings. But anyway, so we went down.
Your father was quite prolific. I'm just gonna say,
amen to that.
Yeah.
And he.
All right.
Anyway, so we were down at the lake, and we went to the store to get stuff, and we had our boat. And it was the 4th of July, and one of my dad's girlfriends just happened to be there. And she came back with us to the house and water skied. And my mom, I think, kind of knew it, but I really knew it. And the fireworks at night and the whole thing, it was a great time. But I'll never forget how many women just suddenly appeared wherever we were.
It was a great time.
My dad's
girlfriend.
To see my dad.
She's a waitress. I'm ordering some food for you and the kids.
Don't worry, honey.
There's all yeah, it's crazy. But you just never knew who was going to show up.
There you go.
Just like this show today.
Exactly. Who is showing up?
Speaking of who's going to show up, let's add, you know him, you love him, should be no surprise, the fabulous used toy man, Brian Hargis is here, ladies and gentlemen, with his green screen.
What is going on?
Hey.
Why are you purple?
Yeah, this green screen thing's not working out for me. I can't get the lighting correct.
You're purple.
You know, it was funny, was early because I can see people when they pop in. And I was
out in the pool all day yesterday, so this is all just
red. All right, it makes the hair stand out too. So I can see people when they pop in, and I was watching Brian back there, and his screen kept falling over, and he was looking at. He's like, "Am I on? Am I on? Am I on?" But here he is. Now he's here.
I just took that month-long RV trip, and on that trip, I got this green screen. It's pretty cool. It's really, really long, and you pull it up, and it holds itself up until today, when it just kept falling backwards. It kept falling backwards.
When you open it, does it go?
No, it's just a spine or something. So anyway.
To me, you look like you're in the Willy Wonka, and we're gonna bring you to get squeezed.
Yeah.
Doopity doo.
I know it's sad.
That's better. That's what we're used to.
Brian, you look like a human now.
Oh my goodness. I got to get this down. I don't know how to do the lighting here, but anyway.
Not people.
But my
not
shop's so
many people
messy. I'm sorry, Doug. What'd you say?
I was going to say, not people know that. Many people know this, but Brian's landscape behind him is actually green screened.
It is. He had green screen upon green screen.
A very messy green screen.
All right, Brian. Best 4th of July memory.
Well, I was thinking about this, and I think it has to be 1976. I was probably 8 or 9 years old, and there was this older, I would say, high school probably age girl in our neighborhood that I thought was just smoking hot.
Is this family friendly? You know this is a family friendly.
Yes, it is. It is. And we were down at Reagan Park. That's the main park in Palestine, Texas. And somehow, maybe I told somebody, she got wind that I had this little crush, or this little 8, 9-year-old boy crush on her. And so she came over and gave me a kiss, which I thought was just out of this world.
That's
so awesome.
Sweet.
Did you see fireworks?
I did see fireworks that night. But I do recall. I remember that the Doobie Brothers song was playing in the background, and I'll always, whenever I hear that song,
you immediately go there.
That kiss.
What a Fool Believes. Is that the song?
It was the one about going down the river. I can't recall the name of it right now.
Every time he hears that song, he has the urge to be kissed by an older woman and has to run.
Or an 18-year-old.
Well,
in 1976.
That worked for either scenario.
Yeah, exactly.
In 1976, I was 20, not 9. And I worked at the Parker House Hotel in Boston. And we had to dress up in period clothing for like the whole Paul Revere thing.
Okay.
And 76 was the
bicentennial.
And oh my gosh, it was parades and it was such an amazing year to be in Boston. It was really fun, except I had to wear those clothes. But
I also remember 76 because that was the year that we used to go and canvass the whole neighborhood for aluminum cans. and often we'd find full ones full of beer. But what we'd do is shake them up, throw them up, and let them explode. We had no idea how
You
good
weren't drinking them yet?
No.
Not yet. No. But we would do that, and the reason I mention it is because we would take it up to the recycling place,
Get your
and
money.
he would pay us in bicentennial silver dollars, which
Yeah.
was so cool.
That is
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, and I remember they had the the bicentennial 1976. They had the Minutemen on everything. It was pretty cool. Lots of crazy stuff. Brian, do you know why there are no? This was submitted by my friend Tiffy Pie. Do you know why there are no 4th of July knock jokes?
No, I don't know why there's no 4th of July knock jokes.
Because freedom rings everywhere, Brian.
That's
I have a feeling
deep.
Susie knew that. Right? Because you unmuted yourself, and I was like, I think Susie knows the answer.
But I didn't want to steal Doug's thunder, so
Thank you so much. I should have let you answer.
You know, I watched a really, really great fireworks display and put it on Facebook, just a little bit of it on Facebook. But then I said, you know what? I had heard that fireworks were illegal in Texas, except for, I think, what they call 1.4G fireworks, which means like Roman candles are okay, but bottle rockets and things that fly long distances and catch things on fire are not. And I just looked it up and confirmed it. So I don't know where these people are getting these professional fireworks and setting them off in our neighborhood, because it was awesome. But
they're illegal. They're illegal here. You can't buy them. You can't even buy sparklers here. You can't buy anything here. But if you drive to New Hampshire,
which everybody does,
you can buy whatever you want.
Which is what, 10 miles up there?
How many?
10? I'm just kidding.
No, I mean, we could be to New Hampshire within an hour. I mean, like not that long. Everybody, you'll hear fireworks here. But the cops will come. Yeah, see, we don't have fireworks stands, but
But also, I think if it's like an officially sanctioned thing, like a city or something like that, it's okay to do them. But if it's some yahoo in their whereas on the East Coast, we would say some jabroni in their backyard,
right,
it's illegal. So
jabroni?
Jabroni.
Yeah, jabroni.
Oh, I've never heard that one before.
And quick 4th of July fact, not many people know this, but Thomas Jefferson was in Boston finishing up the Declaration of Independence, and somebody goes, Tom, what are you doing? And he goes, I'm writing over here. It was in a quill pen on that desk behind Diane, actually. And that's why she has that desk. And then he went to Philly and they passed it. And when he came back, he claimed that he was there and soaked up Philly like a sponge.
Doug. So much more than anybody else, which is the best part of all of his jokes. Look at Susie's like,
so pleased with myself.
Susie, did you have any fireworks?
my husband went and bought some, and I sat in the car because I said, you might as well just take $100 and light it on fire. So
True.
But the good news is that I bought a bunch of stuff to make up for the money that he spent on fireworks.
All right.
So Dan is in the chat. She said they have fireworks stands everywhere in Florida.
Well, we do too. I just don't know how they're able to sell them.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, wait. You have stands and you don't think they're legal, Brian?
Well, it says on the internet, which is always true, that they're illegal. But I see it. I think if they sell them outside of the city limits, because they're always on the city limits, that you can buy whatever you want. It's crazy. Freedom.
There were a couple of weeks ago in Nevada, there were fireworks stands, but they were, I wouldn't say abandoned, but nobody was there. So I don't know.
Well, I'm like Susie. But I enjoy them, but I don't spend any money on them because every 4th of July in our neighborhood, they have these professional shows almost. So why spend any?
I've never bought them before.
Because we have Jeff.
Yeah.
We have another special guest, ladies and gentlemen. We weren't sure she was going to make it. She just missed her joke, but here she is, the fabulous Tiffy Pie in her jammies.
Hi, guys.
Speaking of Texas, she's in Texas as well.
My people, my fellow Texan.
So welcome.
My fellow Texan.
The fabulous Tiffany Stewart, Tiffy Pie. How was your 4th of July? What did you do?
We just hung out in the pool all day. My niece and nephew are here, and so they were loving it. And then we did, of course, it's not 4th of July without a hot dog. So we definitely did that. But yes, I'm still in my jammies. I was up very, very, very late last night with the kids. We did karaoke, so
Did you sing your signature song?
I did not. The kids, that's not their genre. So I normally do You're So Vain, but I did not do You're So Vain this time. I can't remember what we did. We did.
Is that the signature song?
What was that?
Is that the signature song?
That's my go-to because you don't have to be a very good singer to sing it. So I can master it.
Okay.
Hi, Jill.
Oh,
What
unfortunately,
did we sing? I can't
Carly
remember
Simon
now.
was here. Carly Simon was here, but she heard your comment and she left. It was
Oh God, I hurt her feelings.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine.
Simon's crying.
And
she's
it
gonna.
was only last night, and she can't remember.
I know,
So
I
what
was
are we
gonna
gonna? What else was involved in this kid party?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, my
Yeah.
Yeti was full.
Like-
My
Your
Yeti
voice
was
is
full.
rough. I think you sang and did other things a lot in excess, maybe.
Joel popped in to remind me we duetted Your Song by Elton John.
Literally Brian's song.
Brian's song.
I thought that
It took him a whole minute to get that joke. Oh.
you're Brian.
Elton John's not my my genre.
Oh no.
I mean, I love. He's all right.
He's all right.
Tiffany's about to fight you.
I'm
Tiffany's gonna be like,
affronted.
how far are you from me in Texas? We're having
He's
a
like-
fight.
I figured out now where he lives. When he first told me, I didn't know Texas at all, but I now understand it a little bit. He's very close. Well, I don't know. Are you in Texas right now? Because I know you were at your daughter's recently.
I am. I'm back. I'm in
Yeah.
Justin.
He's only 30 minutes away, so I could definitely fight him quickly.
Oh,
Come on out anytime.
30
Uh-oh.
minutes is
Ladies
30
and gentlemen.
minutes is pretty close.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do that on a live. The battle royale, the Texas battle royale.
What's your song, Brian?
Actually, it was always double. Oh gosh,
Double
Oh,
vision.
Now who's had too much to drink?
double vision. Double vision was always my go-to. I'd always bring the house down. Now I'm talking about karaoke.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what we're talking about. Yeah. Okay,
Wow.
so Tiffany, what's your favorite 4th of July memory?
Oh, that's a really good question. I did not think about this ahead of time. So 4th of July is my second favorite holiday after Christmas.
Okay.
So I'm trying
Why
to think.
is that? Why is that?
Well, I'm a big America person. So I have 45,000 America shirts. I have an America onesie. I have an America bucket hat. We're very patriotic in our house. My dad was diehard patriotic.
My father too.
Oh, not the band.
I was like, wait, what? And then I got it. I'm trying to think. 4th of July
Second
favorite. Because I like fireworks, but they're not my favorite thing. Mostly because they scare the dogs, and then all the dogs in the neighborhood are howling.
See, I never had a dog, so I never had to deal with that.
Kevin had his 2 Trazodones last night, so he was like,
2 Trazodone for the
Yeah.
dog?
"Yeah,
God, I wish I had 2 Trazodones last night.
I can." Maybe I'll ask him. Hey, Kevin. Sleep.
Kevin, can you share with Tiffy Pie?
There are some. He's
Yeah.
out of his Prozac. He's off his Prozac.
I will tell you, Jackson's on Prozac every day, my oldest dog, and he and I both take Xanax the same dosage, which I don't know what that says. I think it says more about him than it does about me, but I'm not sure.
I'm pretty sure it says more about the dog. You are absolutely right.
How big is this dog?
26 pounds.
Well, he's on a massive dose then, or you are on nothing.
I'm on a baby dose, so I only take 1/4 of a milligram, and he only takes 1/4 of a milligram. So we share. But when I remember being like, oh, I don't become a Xanax addict, and the doctor was like, you're taking what we would give like a 10-year-old. I was like, oh,
Thank you,
nailed
doctor.
it.
I love the way you're worried about being a Xanax.
They scare you. They're like, you have to sign all these forms. And then when I moved to Texas, they had me, I had to pee in a cup. And I was like, I never had to pee in a cup before when it's not a pregnancy test. This is weird. What are you doing? They're like, oh, we just want to check what kind of drugs are in your system. I was like, what? Why? They were like, because we can't give you any of your controlled substances. And I was like, this place is wild. Like, now that I've passed, they'll give me whatever I want. I'm like, oh, this feels like.
Now, was that at the border when you were
It was at
coming
the
into
border.
Texas?
When you climbed over the river and the fence to get here?
Through the woods. Did you get fireworks while you were there too? Do they have fireworks?
For a brief second, I thought she had to make her dog pee in the cup.
That's very hard to do, actually.
I
have
can't
had to
even
do that.
imagine.
I have literally had to do that when my previous dog who crossed the Rainbow Bridge had cancer. It was prostate. So we regularly had to get to see if there was, unfortunately, blood in his urine. Getting that dog to pee. Once he figured it out, he was honestly very cooperative. He was like, here, just go ahead. Like,
he spoke too?
only when I took the Xanax.
And after I have my cigarette.
Yeah, exactly. It's very prolific, that dog.
He was very, very, he was the best. You could
Okay,
just
so
see it in
let's
his
bring it-
eyes. He was like, here, let me lean this way so it's easier. Because otherwise the woman's going to follow me around.
Man, that is nuts. So let's talk about reselling for 1 second. How does everyone think? I know this is going to be Doug's favorite topic because he's so into reselling.
Hang on. Just kidding.
I think he's going to be mean to me now. I was just kidding. How does everyone think 4th of July or holidays, summer holidays, Memorial Day, Labor Day affect your business? And what do you think of this year's part of like summer slowdown? How is that for everybody?
Me?
Sure.
I was like, who's going to go?
I think you should plan for your whole year and not worry about 4 weekends. So I think you can make up, if you know that you don't do well in the first 2 weeks in July, go on freaking vacation or do your inventory. Like you don't have to always make the same amount of money each week. You can make up for it on different times. So it never really bothered me. I don't know.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah. Bri.
I actually, since I took that month off and I didn't use a bank for that month, I know you're about to spank me for that, but I'm getting back into it, and things are picking up.
Good.
So I don't really see a summer slowdown, but of course, mostly what I sell is used music equipment,
Right.
and people are wanting that.
Yep.
I do think that on these active holidays where people are out and about and away from their computer, they're not usually at the lake looking for used music equipment on their iPhone while they're at the lake. So I think sales will slow for that day or so, but I don't think it's not a big deal for me. And things
I agree with Brian. There's always a need for rock and roll. Rock and roll will
Now
never die.
Doug's into reselling.
That's
you
right.
can't stop rock and roll.
You can't stop rock and roll. She was a fast machine.
Oh Lord.
Ladies and gentlemen, she kept her motor clean.
What about you, Tiffy?
It is important to keep your motor clean. I would like everybody to know that. All motors should be clean. So I would say Diane has the perfect perspective, and I need to remember that because the wisdom of that woman always impacts me because I sometimes sit and kind of want to have a temper tantrum because I'm super sad when I don't get any sales. And when I say any, I mean it slows. I do have an extreme summer slowdown, and especially since half of my business is now kids clothes. There's no moms shopping right now. Now in 3 weeks, I'll be bitching that, oh my God, I have 45 orders a day going out because the like March season, I think I had like 100 orders a week kind of a thing, right? Then you go into June and May, no parent is shopping because they're all on vacation, all expendable income. They're like you said, they're at the lake, they're not on their phones buying stuff. And so it's hard to remember, even though it's completely accurate, when I'm getting a zillion sales of the holiday season, that I need to remember that it's okay that the summer is, because for me, slowdown is very real. Like it slows quite a bit. But I also try and appreciate, like, oh, I have my niece and nephew here. I can spend more time with them because I'm not, and I should be listing more too. I think I also experience physical summer slowdown. Like, I want to list less. I want to be outside in the pool. Like when it's 25 or 30 degrees outside or 50 degrees outside and raining, I'm like, oh, it's easy to list. But when
Yeah.
it's 85 and sunny, I'm like, I want to be outside with my Yeti full of my adult beverages, not listing.
And I think what Jill just said that you just had up a second ago. I'm sorry, Doug, go ahead.
I was going to say, do you think it really slows down, or is it the 10 mgs of Xanax that slows everything down?
No, I think it's both. But I do really actually literally have less. I mean, like I'll log into Poshmark, and which is where, as you guys know, I do most of my business, and Citizen's my second biggest performer. And like 2 months ago, I would have 10 offers a day in Citizen because I'm not a huge like I'm not doing tens of thousands of dollars every month. Literally, I have had one offer in Citizen since I think Tuesday.
I love what Jill wrote. I mean, I think it's smart to think about using this time to prepare for what will come, and getting your processes honed in, writing your standard of process. Good for you, Jill. That's awesome.
Also, that's so adult. Standard of process.
It is. But here's the thing about that. I also think that you need to keep up your listing habit, right? Whatever your listing habit is, keep it up. Even if you don't see a direct correlation over this summer, having a good listing habit, whatever that is for you, 5 a day, 10 a day, 50 a day, whatever your listing habit is, to have that listing habit 7 days a week. I'm specifically talking about eBay. I think the other platforms, it's not quite as serious, but on eBay, it really rewards people who are constant and consistent. And if we slow down during the summer, sometimes it takes longer to get back going in the fall than it feels like it should.
Yeah. And I think like Tiffany wants to go out in the sun, and we all do. Like that's the thing. Like where if you're in a cold climate, you want to, when it starts to get nice, you want to go out. But you could even cut down your listings to half.
Yep.
At least things are going in. So you don't have to be, I think everyone's so critical about themselves. And then they don't do anything about it. They just get mad that they didn't do it, you know? So instead of like, oh, well, I know I want to go out, so why don't I do 5 listings? I usually do 10. Let me do these 5 and then I'll go out. Then you feel good that you got something accomplished and you can still have all that fun. So I think everybody's too hard on themselves in the bad way.
What about you, Susie?
So I woke up Wednesday morning, and like I only had a couple of offers and 0 sales. And so I panicked. And I don't know why I panicked. It was just a little panic. And so I started a sale that runs until Tuesday. And so I've had a great couple of days. A lot of bizarre offers, but I've had a great couple of days. So I'm happy about that. But I sell stuff I think people need on one ID, and I sell stuff that people don't need in their wildest dreams on another ID. So, and both did okay.
Oh, sorry. I do think that, having the ability to look at it objectively, right? Like one of the things that Diane has always been very open with me about, I mean, we've told this story before, but when we first started, every time I would see her, she would give me her phone and I would pull up her numbers.
She would take my phone.
Okay, I would take her phone, but she allowed me. She had to open it. But I would take her phone and I would want to see what her numbers were because I'd want to beat her, right? Like she was the biggest seller I knew. She was the biggest seller I knew in person. Oh, Jill, that was very nice of you. Thank you. She was the biggest person I knew and I wanted to beat her numbers. And so I can remember the first time I beat her, I was beyond excited that I beat her numbers. And she was so gracious and so nice about it and was so happy.
I was just as excited as you.
She was so happy for me that I beat her numbers. Like that's what you want. You guys, we all need that. We all need somebody who's good for us. And sometimes we need somebody who's saying, she's also said to me, maybe you're not listening enough at the beginning, you know? And I was like, but I'm doing blah, 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 blah. And she's like, blah, 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 blah. It can only sell if it's listed. And I was like, well, okay, then, you know, like sometimes you need somebody to say to you, maybe you got to list some more. And she has done both of those for me. She has told me I needed to stop being an idiot and to list more in a very nice way, but that was basically it. And then she allowed me to try to beat her for, you know, a year till I finally did.
It was fun.
It was fun. And, you know, and it's great if you guys can find somebody like that to work up, because when you have somebody who's a step above you, it really gives you stuff to go towards. It gives you things to try to work towards. And it gives you somebody who's already kind of been where you are that you can kind of, and, you know, and then find somebody else. And hopefully they're as gracious as Diane is.
All right, Susie, I've seen your comments and I know they're directed at me and I know Trish has already been. So I'll get a bank. I'll do it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Because I know you're right. You are right. And I will.
Samantha, we are really good at telling people what to do.
In a nice way.
And welcome in, Samantha. And
we need more contests, though. I think
so too.
Because you may remember about a year ago, this last month, I was very motivated.
You were.
in winning that prize or whatever it was.
You were very motivated.
That's right.
Both of you.
Yes.
But that was fun. No, actually, Susie and I talked about this morning. I think Susie's going to do something.
Oh, a contest? Yeah, I think I am.
I can't wait.
He lost his contest winnings. Yeah, but you know, so that's what I have to say about Summer Slowdown. Sometimes you just need to use it and look at it as having extra time and what can I do to set myself up for success for the next part.
If you need to find someone to work for you, if you need someone to take pictures, like use that time that, you know, and especially when the kids are out of school, you probably know a handful of teenagers that might be interested in a job for the summer, and that you can get all your pictures done, and then
hell, with listing assistant now, you could just have all the things done. Yeah.
So
that was very dramatic.
I don't know that you.
I was like, why was that? Why is he sighing like that? You're like,
you asked everybody but me.
Douglas, what are you doing with Summer Slowdown, my friend? I'm so sorry. I misunderstood.
Thank you for asking, Trish. Well, interestingly, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, as they say, we all need somebody to lean on. So I lean on everybody because everybody sells more than me. But
lean on me.
That's his karaoke song. We found it.
It's true. And I hold a baseball bat while I'm singing it. We all need somebody to lean on is the song, as they say. But interestingly, though, thank you so much, Susie. Yes, I don't know if you knew I used to work for eBay. But anyway.
What?
I know.
You did?
Yes.
Do you also like music? I've heard that about you. Is that true? Or
He does?
This is a recreation of my teenage boy bedroom.
And
Me,
Edgar Allan Poe.
not
He
18.
likes a little Poe.
Yeah, my esoteric topics, as Brian pointed out to me the other day. So anyway, but no, it's interesting. You should bring this up, Trish. Thank you for asking. So when we moved a couple years, I put all my stuff. I put all my stuff on hold, and then I was like, I'll get it listed in a couple months. And then what is it? 2.5 years later, so finally I'm relisting again. I can tell people I was waiting for a listing assistant to come along because I predicted this all 2 years ago. But so listing assistant's really helping. I'm knocking out a lot of drafts, and I have started listing again, 5-ish a day. So I'm trying to get up to Trish levels.
5 is pretty good.
5-ish, Trish.
That means you do 10 one day and 3 another.
Yeah, I'm going to start adding it. What I need is Diane to come by and look at my setup and give me some tips, get me motivated.
It's exactly what you need.
No, but not to get too commercial, but listing assistant, there's no better term than game changer. It makes listing fun. What is this? Let's see, is that your days till you're out of prison calendar?
No, you make marks for all the listings that you do.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Mm.
We used to talk about wanting an abacus. So you just do the little beads every time.
It's complicated. I couldn't do it.
But if you say you want to do 5 a day, that's 35 for the week. If you one day you got asked to go to lunch and you didn't do them, and the next day you do 12.
Yeah, exactly.
So you add up what you did for the whole week and count it as as long as you get to 35, I don't care how you get there, then you made your goal.
Exactly.
And for me, at the end of the month, I have 3,500 to do.
Exactly.
I feel like I have 35,000 is what it looks like in my room right now. So,
well, the nice thing though is, I mean, the extra income is nice, and I am definitely experiencing the summer slowdown as well. But I do not have an inventory challenge. I do not have to source because the kids just went through their closet, so I've got plenty of stuff to sell. There's all my garage stuff, tons and tons of books, and but I'm getting back on it. So I guess I'm using my summer slowdown to get ready for when it's going to start picking up.
You have to list things to sell them. I don't know if you know that, Doug, but I just wanted to give you some advice.
Thank you. Yes.
And build your bank for Poshmark.
I'm going to do my Posh Lives.
For when you're there, you'll need your bank. See.
Yeah, and you'll also need. I mean, the lives are an interesting thing. Did you ever do anything? I mean, I know you've done them, Tiff, but did you ever do well doing them?
Yeah. So, yes, I did. And what I used it for though was, so there's a lot of different modalities for how people use them. Some people use them as they do big high-end items. They do a huge rack of designer items, and their hope is that they'll draw a lot of people in and sell the items for $200, $300, $400, right? I actually am the exact opposite. It's what I use for like thanks, Susie. It's what I use for my like what I can't get rid of. And once people actually see it on camera, they'll be like, that's actually really cute. So like I'll do like an $8 only show. And some of the items will sell for $8, some sell for 10 or 12, but like literally it's just a box of stuff that to list would be so much more time consuming for the cost of my labor than it actually is to blow through it in 2 hours of getting rid of 50, 60, 70 things. And on New Year's Eve last year, Camille and I did a live. We were on for 4 hours. We sold like 150 things. And then people get in bidding wars over ridiculous, like a Banana Republic pair of pants. So
you never know.
You don't. Like I had this sweater I could not sell for the life of me. It was this really, really obscure brand, but it was worth a lot of money. And people got into a bidding war over it. And I think I had it listed 50 and it sold for like 90. And it was just one of those weird, and I got it for like $1 in my ThreadUp boxes because I do a lot of mine is through ThreadUp. But yeah, that's very, 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 very rare. I would say my usual sales, I run about 90 minutes and I sell about 25 things. But when I look at how much I made and I look at my hourly, I'm like, if I could do that every day of my life for 8 hours a day, I would be a very wealthy woman. So it's just lives are they're niche. I know one gal, she does lives every single day, 6 days a week. And
have you thought about doing them on Whatnot or District? I mean, have you thought about branching out?
So I started on Whatnot actually. And when I was at Boss, I spoke to the Whatnot people a little bit, the gentlemen that were there. And the only problem from what I sell on Whatnot, I did actually do that once. I did actually do a live for my pool. We didn't sell anything. We just
That
ended
was
up
the one
laughing.
I watched.
It was a hot, shocking, so shocking that Doug was at the pool one. But they like these. There's a few women and men, but mostly women that do these six shows, 4 or 5 hours a day, and that's their full-time job, and that's how they make enough money. And I don't know how they do it, because it is literally exhausting to do a live show. This makes me look like my pictures are crisp, at least. Thanks.
There you go. And
can I ask something?
Of course.
Tiffany, what if you tried to do the lives 5 days a week for 1 week and 2 hours only, and just see how it goes? Like, just pick a time, do it, and then at the end of the week figure out if it was worth it, not worth it. Because 5 shows would give you a really good basis, I think.
I definitely think, without even doing it, I think it would be worth it. I think the only reason, extenuating circumstances in the last 6 months. So before I wasn't at 5 a week, but I was at 3 a week for a long time. And just the last 6 months of what's been going on in my personal life have made it so that's just physically, for me to stick to a schedule has been really problematic. And so when you're not scheduled, I tell people all the time, pop-ups can be fun, but only in the middle of the night. So I only do pop-ups at like midnight or 1 o'clock here, because it gets me from anywhere from like 10 or 11 all the way to 2 in the morning. And those are the only ones that are successful for me. And I've just, with my medical stuff, I've been in so many dang doctor's appointments, and now we're working on custody of my niece and nephew. So I'm a full-time law student. And medical student. So, but I definitely agree with you. I know that, Diane, that would be successful. And I tell people, and it's so funny because I tell people all the time, I am not doing this. I am telling you to practice what I preach, because I'm not doing it right now. But if you do it, you will be successful. And these people will respond. They're like, I did it. You were right. I'm like, I swear, Diane's right. I'm right. It's just, I'm not doing it right now.
Well, may I ask a question? Got my hand
you
up.
raised your hand, yes.
Of course you can.
Both Tiffy and Susie have made this assertion that these shows are very exhausting. So I'm just trying to figure out, is it exhausting for introverts or for extroverts or both? Because if you're an extrovert, then you feed off of people, but and talking, but these shows, you don't have people, really, do you?
Well, you think you're entertaining. I mean, you kind of have to entertain people. I don't know if you ever taught. I taught a little bit of school. I'm not talking about my homeschooled kids. You have to be on. You're like trying to entertain people and not show all your chins in the process, and not say a bad word, stuff like that.
Oh, I say bad words.
Oh, I would say bad words.
I think.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I do think there are certain people who do not find it exhausting. I do sometimes 4 or 5 like lives a day at one point, between like listing party and this stuff. And I'm just like, okay, we're good. And Clara would always say to me, oh my God, aren't you exhausted? How are you doing that? I'm like, nah, I'm fine. You know, I don't really have any trouble with it.
Well,
yeah. I do.
You find it exhausting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she finds it exhausting.
Well, and I'll just weigh in as a huge social influencer and YouTube star. You can't see behind me there. There's a small fainting couch. So at the end of each live, I swoon dramatically.
He does. I've seen him swoon many a time.
With the vapors.
He has the vapors.
Susie Eads told me that Victorian fainting couch.
Yeah.
What does Kevin do when you faint?
Or
is he too hyped up?
Like, oh, thank God. Not never stop talking.
He jumps out of the way.
No,
I don't think it's for me.
Sorry. I think maybe for those of us who are like, it's bothersome or tiring. I think if you got, because I find it hard, like you guys are reading these comments and looking and talking and back and forth and all that. And I'm like, I have no idea what the frig is going on, you know, over here or over there. And thank you. Oh, I'm supposed to say thank you. Oh, yeah, well, now they want to know what. I don't know what's happening. And see, like that all stresses me out. So I think if you know the thing that is bothersome or what is making you stressed out, I would prefer to do it when Riley is here or Trish is here so that someone else can read the comments and I could just do the thing, you know? So I think if whatever the thing is, like you have to analyze your own process. And that's what Trish says. If you don't know your process, you don't know what's wrong with it either. So
I also think some of us, when Jill earlier wrote talk about writing down our statement of process, that can be really helpful for any of this stuff, because sometimes you write down exactly what you do. And if you have somebody else look at it, they can be like, well, why are you doing this part twice? Why aren't you taking care of it all there? Or why are you touching this item more than once? Or why do you have to go search for things? Why do you already have them out? You know, so doing a statement of process for even like these live shows could be a pretty good idea. Diane did them for a very short time. And we thought we had like the camera came over. We thought we had the camera
all set up. It was perfect. The perfect setup. Go ahead.
And then it went live and you couldn't see her. So
it was gone. It went away. It shut us off.
It was pretty funny. So sometimes you just need to do something and then really analyze it and see how you're doing it. I'm a firm believer in statement of process because it really will show you stuff. I used to touch items way too much. I touch items very few, you know, as minimal amount of time now as I have to. And I just wanted to go back up. So Lori Johnson said her new recipe is to sell new items for 75% off retail price on Whatnot. What doesn't sell, I list on platforms. Then if it doesn't sell after 6 months to a year, I go back to Whatnot and sell it for 90% off retail. That way I do a quick flip, only have to put the effort into lengthy input and cross-posting process followed by a quick clearance to keep things rotating. It's an interesting idea. So does that mean, and I think she said she's doing 5 shows a week. 6, she just finished a 6-run show, 5 shows a week, and was exhausted with the shipping in the show. Oh, yeah. Were you doing that all alone, Laurie? Or like everything alone? That would be exhausting.
So that's what I was going to say though, Trish, is for me, the exhausting part is not the being on part. And just like Susie was a teacher, I was a corporate trainer for 8.5 years.
Yeah.
So I don't find the exhausting part, the like interaction and the comments and the this and that. It's the end when I will tell you exactly when it hits. I look at the rack of sold items. You have a momentary like, F yeah, I did this. And then I have a, oh shit, I gotta pack all that shit up. And then I look at my husband and I'm like, and he's like, yeah, you sold so much. And I was like, yay. And just like, I'm confused on what's happening with your reaction.
I can see the end of the show being a final thing where you go, okay, I'm done. I'm going to go now have a drink and watch a TV show and not want to do anything more. I mean,
I agree with Brian totally.
And then you get a shipper.
Yes. Yeah. So that, you know, if my niece and nephew move in and it gets all finalized the way we'd like it to, I will have 2 beautiful, youthful, energetic, willing employees who really want, who like money.
That you're going to put them on slave labor once you get there.
I pay Riley and Millie $10 an hour.
Yep.
And when they come over, if I have orders to do, they'll do that. If I need my area cleaned up downstairs, they'll do that. They'll just go and figure out what needs to be done next. And that's the thing.
And I think, I mean, Liz is a grown person, so it's not exactly the same, but I do think she used to do stuff before, you know, when I was doing stuff at my store and whatever, and I would pay her 10 or 15 bucks an hour. I do think it's good. They learn things, you know, it's a good skill. All of this is a skill. And the thing about reselling, and I would assume this is probably for Susie's kids too, there's no barrier to entry. You know, anybody can do this. It's a skill though, and it's work. You have to keep going. But I mean, it's good for kids to see, you know, I can make something out of nothing, which is really what I think is great about reselling.
You know, my kids, most of them started their own business because they helped me in my business. And only one really does eBay stuff. A couple others do it when they need money, but it's a great experience for them to do it. I mean, they learn stuff. They learn to talk to people. I mean, my 13-year-old can negotiate with anybody. So, and all of them had. So it's a great experience to have your kids learn to do, help you out.
I wish you the best of luck because, I mean, I had my 2 children to help around the home and it didn't work out and they just became a burden. So just want to let you know.
So did you get rid of them? Did you get rid of them after you figured out they weren't a very big help?
Well, let's just say I stopped after 2. I was planning on 4. And,
no, that was the month-long trip. He buried them in different locations across the country.
I'm dying. He's like, listen, they were just a lot. So I gave them away. Like, I just could not deal.
Done.
Well, you guys are all awful.
I just realized, you know, before they're 5, they're really not. They're pretty much useless.
You just realized that? I'm not even a biological mother, and I already know they're useless. In fact, they're draining. It's the opposite. They require all of your use.
I know.
They do. Crazy. They require a lot of use.
I'm like, you can't get a snack? They're like, where's the snacks? I'm like, in the snack drawer? Like, I don't. Says snacks on the drawer. I don't really.
Don't you read?
Like,
Douglas, it was fun. Thank you for having us.
Yeah. Thanks for coming to the show, everybody. Thanks to the special guests that we pulled together. Thanks for dropping your wisdom. Thank you, Diane, the fabulous Diane Lassonde. Thank you to the amazing Susie Eads, Tiffy Pie, Tiffany Stewart, who also does educational lives for Poshmark as well, ladies and gentlemen. And then, of course, the fantastic, ever-searching, adventurous Ulysses of the selling world, Brian Hargis, the used toy man.
The no longer purple Brian Hargis.
Well, they used to call me the Adonis of selling, but then they found that there's a guy at eBay.
When they found the real Adonis, and it was
the Adonis of selling.
Yeah, they realized who it was.
I just got to say, Doug did not tell me I was going to get to see any of these faces on here. I showed up anyway. If I had known that these peeps were going to be on here, I would have raced on here.
I was not convincing enough.
He was like, can you, and I'm like, if I had known that I was going to see the stars of the show, I would have been like, I would have ran here. I would have not
Doug, it was Trish.
Yeah, she thought it was just me. So she's like, I don't know. I'm very busy.
Very busy. She's really annoying. He is,
I'm in my PJs.
I was in my PJs. I said, wait, when he sent it, it came out across his StreamYard. I was like, oh, I thought you just wanted me to go in the chat. And I'm like, I'm in my jammies, literally sitting in my bed still. I take my vacation days. When I decide I'm going on vacation, I take it very seriously.
Well, we're glad you're here, Tiff. It was great to see you. I hope everyone had a good 4th. Thanks you, everybody, for popping in. It was fun. We, again, tonight, at 7:00 Eastern is Jason Wells about CSV download. He's doing it to district, but it can be useful for other things. So if you're interested, please come and learn. I'm going to be there. I want to know about how to do it. And then tonight, starting at, I think 8 Eastern, can you check that, Doug? Is Sip and List with Jill. And they do prizes. They have songs. I think they do trivia sometimes. So, and that will go all night. So if anyone's bored.
Brian needs to go to that because it's a contest.
Brian wants to go.
I got to go because there's a sip.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, how to get us to go? The sip part.
I can, and because I'm off my diet for these. Today's the second day that I'm off my diet, and then I go back on it tomorrow, so I can have a bottle or two of wine.
Oh,
A bottle or two.
That I noticed how I didn't laugh or smirk. I was like, yeah, a bottle or two.
Yeah,
Yeah, of course.
Sure.
That's like the margarita I got last night. So thank you, everybody. Thanks for coming. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for coming. We'll see you next time. And it is the Sippin' List, the all night long Lionel Richie Sippin' List starts at 5
All
Pacific,
night
8
long.
Eastern, all night. And there could be some dancing on the ceiling. There could be some hello, is it me you're looking for? Or there could also be some she's a brick house.
Little
Can I
I
Commodore.
ran out of Lionel Richie songs after
You
your
can
third
ask
one.
Teresa about the brick
Oh.
house and the Lionel Richie.
I was gonna say that.
That's Teresa's. That's
We
Teresa's.
That would be the next.
We have a story we'll tell you at some point.
That's Commodores, isn't it?
Yes.
That's the Commodore, yeah.
Definitely
Yeah.
not Lionel Richie. This I do know.
Got to be-
Well,
It was a mix of,
he was there.
yeah.
He's so bad.
Oh.
Lionel was there singing it.
There, that's true.
Oh, interesting. All right. Wave, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Thanks for the comments. Thanks for tuning in. Sorry it ran a little bit over. Teresa Cox will chastise me afterwards. See you guys next time. Have a good one. Oh, no, I can't tell you that. It's a secret. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Thanks, everybody.